Yes, welcome to the Scoreboard and Nugget. Huge day of sport. We've got NBA playoffs. They're official, it's in. So we'll recap the NBA play-in, the teams that have made. We'll go through the seedings. We'll go through what we think, or we're going to go through our NBA playoff predictions for the first round. So we'll go through all that. We've got the AFL tips, must-wins, crowd predictions, as always. We've got a Nuggets fitness tip of the week. The USA Olympic team, we'll go through that. They've got the men's NBA Olympic team. They've kind of got a little bit of a few players that have joined. And there's a little funny video of Kawhi accepting his jersey. So all that and more. So stick around for the Scoreboard with Nugget. Yeah, so we're big. It's a big day. So I think we'll get straight into the, we kind of touched base yesterday on the NBA playing. Obviously, it was the Lakers versus the Pelicans. Zion went off. Zion was going absolutely nuts. So we'll quickly go through, the 4 games that were played over the last couple of days. So if you've been watching, or if you don't really watch the NBA, it's quite an interesting concept. I'm not sure where they got it from, if it was, if it's something new that they've kind of made up just for them, or they've kind of taken it from another sport, but pretty well. I'm going to get that up. But what it was, so 7 and 8. Oh, yep. Welcome, Foles. I forgot to introduce you. How you going over there?
That's right. I'm just here for the, special comments. So all good.
Special comments, and we'll get through the AFL tips and must-wins and that sort of stuff. Ooh. So we did get through, and just so you realise, we did get through to the. We didn't film it, but we got our punishment done on Wednesday. Yep. So next week we'll definitely be filming it. So we can have it, like we used to in the corner somewhere. But yeah, so pretty well. So the NBA play-in. So I'm not sure if I'm not sure if they got it themselves, or so it's they go through the season, and then the bracket of 7 to 10. So 7, 8, 9, 10 play a mini tournament to make the 7 and 8 last spots in the playoffs. So 7 play 8, 8 play 9, and then so that's been done. So the seven seeds have both been locked in, and now I think either tomorrow, there might be a game tomorrow and the game the next day to lock in the 8th seed. But what we'll do, we'll go through all the playoff seeds besides the 1 versus 8. So we'll get our predictions, see how we go. So next week, we'll do the 1 versus 8 as well. So, but the play-in yesterday, so NBA, I'm going to get some NBA results just to go through a little bit of the last couple of days. So the Lakers, as I said, Zion was going absolutely nuts. He was 40 points. He had 40 points moving into the last 3 or 4 minutes of the last quarter. And unfortunately, which is the story of Zion's career, did a hammy.
Oh, God.
He was
How old are we talking?
He's only like 24, 23, 24. So pretty well what's have you seen Zion? He was like, remember, how we're talking about Wemby and that sort of thing? Zion was like that guy. He was like the next big thing because he's so big and muscular. He's built, have you seen him before?
Yeah, I reckon we've seen him on this thing before. Let's have a look. I'll get him up.
He's a absolute
How do you spell Zion?
Zion. Williamson, there he is. So he's built like he's a monster. He's like 6'6", 290 pound. But what in college?
That's massive.
Yeah, in college, he had his like.
Doesn't look like he can move too well. This bloke, is he moving?
No, that's the thing. That's why he's always so injured. I'll get you up. So Zion
is he? Oh, this is.
So
is that him now?
Yeah, that was him this year, or going into
looks
the.
It looks like
there's been.
It looks like this bloke here is eating this bloke, or the other way around. Because he's trained off in this one.
Yeah, they reckon he eats the table. That's the gag going around.
Really? Because that looks like you there, and then that looks like me.
That's the sort of special comment. But I'm going to get up as like Zion Williamson dunk. I'll get you up some dunks that he used to do back in the day.
Yeah, throw him in.
So so when he got into, like, when he was coming from college into the NBA. He was like he was an absolute like phenomenon because he was so big, but his vert he could jump out of the room. I've got this dunk up.
Nice.
We'll see what it's like. So, but yeah, the things he could do was absolutely crazy. So let's. It's in slow motion, but it'll be good if once we pop this up. So, but he was on fire. So Zion was on absolute fire, but was out for the last 4 minutes of the. So that's that bottom one there. Yeah, he was out for the last 4 minutes, and then Lakers took back the lead. So if you haven't seen Zion, this is the sort of stuff he was doing in high school.
Claim.
See?
Jesus.
Yeah,
You see that in high school?
he was doing this in high school.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so just I didn't even show the end, but that's a sort of like jumping, and so when he came out of high school,
That was really, yeah.
so that like he was an absolute phenomenon when he was coming out of high school, when he was coming out of college. But
Imagine doing that just at high school. I'd love him.
But look how big he is. But and look
It's going to be the best one of the best dunks of all time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Really
So that's why he had the hype. Then over the last few years, been injured, but he's played most of this year and he's been playing pretty well. And then yesterday was absolutely dominating the Lakers. Had 40 with 4 minutes to go. Did his hamstring out most likely if they lose. So that they've lost. So they have to play now. They have to play the Sacramento Kings, who bet the Warriors. And that's what we're moving into the Warriors. The dynasty, Foldsy, could be over.
Really?
So Warriors, they first won, I think, in 2015. So it's been about 9 years. They've won 4 titles. They went back-to-back. No, so they won one. Then they lost to LeBron and the Cavs in 2016. And then after that loss, they brought in Kevin Durant, who's an absolute monster. So then they went 2017, 2018, they won. And then I think they won in 2022 as well. So that's kind of, they've 4 titles in about 7-8 years. But they go down yesterday to the Sacramento Kings, who are, to be fair and to be honest, they're missing a few of their good players. Klay Thompson, guess how many points he got, which is one of the top 3 players for the Golden State Warriors. They lost. And guess how many he ended with. So he played about 38 minutes.
I'm going to say he got 36.
0. He goose-egged it. So he had 0 points for the game. And obviously one of their best players. So I think the rumor is going around that he's going to Orlando Magic. I'm hearing rumors on the grapevine that it's the worst kept secret in the NBA that he's heading to Orlando next year for a bit of cash, a max contract worth about $50 million a year. So it could be the end of the Warriors. So that was yesterday. So that was the West play-ins. And now today, I caught the back end of this game, was an absolute monster. 76ers. So Philadelphia, they were down about 18 points at quarter time. They were getting absolutely smoked. I was thinking that's over. Game over. The Heat were absolutely taking the absolute mickey. I thought, playoff Jimmy, as they call him, was back. The Heat, the Heatles, they've been pretty trash all year. And it comes to the finals or the playoffs or the play-in, and they go to another level. But Maxey, Embiid, and Nicholas Batum, who is an absolute monster. I think he hit about 5 or 6 threes. Who's about 36. A bit of a role player. But let's get the stats. 28 minutes, 20 points for Nicholas Batum, which is crazy. He's about 35 years old. Bit of a role player, but took the absolute mickey. 6 threes today. So just one of the role players, in the play-in and in the playoffs, you need the role players to step up because Embiid was okay. To be fair, Embiid was pretty good. He had about 14 assists, 20 points. But Nicholas Batum, unbelievable. Out of nowhere, goes off. They get the win. So, and then the final game, which I didn't actually see, so I don't want to comment too much on. The Bulls beat the Atlanta Hawks by roughly, it was about 17 points or something, 15 points in the end. So that kind of makes up. So what we're going to do is it's going to be Bulls versus 76ers. Oh, sorry, Bulls versus Heat for the 8th spot in the East, and the Kings versus the Pelicans for the 8th spot in the West. So I'm going to go into the table, and we're going to quickly, you're going to make some predictions.
You just look down the line, right into the barrel there.
Yep.
And point. Look at the screen.
He's got a screenshot. That's good stuff.
I don't know. We might, just a bit of, how you going?
So what we're going to do, Foldy, I'm going to give you you're obviously not going to know too much about it, but I'm going to write it down on our tip spreadsheet, and we'll see how we go in the first round of the playoffs with the NBA.
Nice.
Okay, so you might, obviously it's not your bread and butter.
No, I'm going to go, I'm going to go from what I remember them being back when I used to watch it a fair bit.
Okay, you go old school.
And then I'm going to see how it stacks up. How the teams are running.
So Knicks, we'll start with the East, okay? Knicks versus 76ers.
All right, what do we got?
So it's New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers.
New York Knicks for sure.
Yeah, I'm on the... You know what? This is an interesting series because Philly have been good. I actually think... Because the Knicks actually have a couple of injuries. Julius Randle, I'm not sure if he's coming back. Jalen Brunson is an absolute gun. He's only pretty small though, 6'1" maybe. You know what? I'm gonna. That could be an upset. I'm going to Philly to win that. Philly, Folty's taking the Knicks. And do you have a prediction? Sometimes they like to throw off a little because it's the best of 7 series. What do you think the score will be? Like sometimes it could be 4-2, 4-3.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go
4-2 sounds about right for me.
4-2. So you got Knicks. I was going Knicks in 6, and then I'm gonna say Philly in 6. All right. So that's a bit of a throw.
I like that.
Bit of a spanner there. Bucks versus Pacers. So Milwaukee Bucks, Indiana
I like the
Pacers.
Bucks back in the day. Give me the Bucks.
The Bucks. They're and the thing is with the Bucks, Giannis is out for the first couple of games. It's been reported, so they're in a bit of strife. I'm going to go Bucks as well, but it's not going to be an easy beat. I might go Bucks in 7. They get a home ground. Foldsy goes Bucks. Bucks in how many, Folds?
6.
Bucks in 6. So Giannis is out for the first couple of games, which they're going to need Lillard. They're going to need the Lopez. They're going to need Middleton to really step up. So. Next up, we've got Cavs versus Magic. So Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Orlando Magic.
Still Orlando.
They were 4. This is a 4 and 5 seed. So
yeah, it's a Magic for me.
You're a Magic man. I'm going to go. Cleveland have been pretty trash over the last month, but Magic are new. They got a good young player. I'm going to go Cleveland in 6 again.
Yeah, I want my 6 too.
Yours in 6 as well. So you've gone 6 down the line for all his, by the looks of it. Magic in 6.
Like 6-6.
And then we'll get to the East. The last, obviously, we'll find that out tomorrow and the next day. So we can do that on one of the, as always, if you watch, we're Fancy Frothy Friday, Weekend Warriors, Midweek Mayhem. Yeah, no, with Foldsy. So we'll make those predictions before they start. So we've got them, on if we ever look back and see how we went, it's been iron-clouded. On today's date, the 18th of the 4th, 2024. So
that's it.
The East predictions are in. Now we're heading over to the West. We're going to start off Lakers versus the Nuggets. So Nuggets are the reigning champs. You got to play your bias here, and we like to play our bias. And I'm a Lakers man. LeBron's the GOAT. Foldsy doesn't agree, but if they beat Nuggets, it'll be one of the biggest wins of LeBron's career. Yeah, they haven't beat them in 8 games or 9 games. Apparently, they got swept last year. So they played the Nuggets. So it's called the conference finals, but it's actually the for you it would for Aussies it'd be like the prelim.
Yep.
So the one before the granny, and Nuggets beat them in 4 games. So they won 4 on the trot.
Nice.
So. And Nuggets have been better, but I'm going Lakers.
I'll bring the Lakers too. I want a Lakers action.
I think it's going to be Lakers in 6. So you go 2 at the Nuggets. So we're gonna steal a game on the road. So it's going to be 1-1. Then we're going to win both at home, and then we'll lose back at Nuggets. Yeah, so I'm going Lakers in 6, which is
I'm going to go that too.
Lakers, man, you're on board.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get up
because Leb's the GOAT.
Well, they've got other good players, but...
Leb's the GOAT. That's what I'm talking about.
I'd like to see him, do his thing.
All right. And then we've got Timberwolves versus the Suns. Gee, some of these games, their matchups, I don't think any work will be getting done over the next few months. So there goes the pay slip. So we're going to have to start making some money. We need some viewers. So if anyone's watching, throw us a super chat so we can make some cash. All right, so Timberwolves versus Nuggets. Timberwolves versus the Suns. Suns have come good, and they've got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. Timberwolves obviously played well during the year. They got Ant-Man. They got
Ant-Man.
Anthony Edwards, who's a gun. But Carl Anthony Towns coming back from an injury, and Rudy Gobert is probably their three. So it's a matchup disaster for the Timberwolves because they're super big, but the Suns, they don't need to be at the rim. So they're more jump shooters, mid-range jump shooters. So the Suns match up well against the Timberwolves. So I'm going Suns in 6.
Suns in 6.
Suns in 6. And that's Phoenix Suns versus the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I'll go the Phoenix Suns in 6.
You guys,
I like this Phoenix Suns.
He's copying me.
I'm just going for what I remember.
Yeah, all good. And
wait, sorry, Phoenix versus who?
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, yeah. Timberwolves were good back in the day, but I was a Suns Charles Barkley top operator back in the day.
Yeah, you were a Charles Barkley man. And to finish off, another absolute belt, I'm telling you. How are we going to get any work done? I'm not sure, but Clippers versus the Mavs. So
when is all this happening?
It'll probably start, I reckon, Friday or Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, so Clippers versus the Mavs. So that was a 4-5. The Mavericks, so Dallas Mavericks, they've been probably the hottest team in the last month or so. Luka, you've got Kyrie Irving, and the Clippers, you've got Paul George. We're not sure about Kawhi. Is he injured? Is he not? We're not sure. So I like the Mavs. It's going to be a great series, but I reckon Mavs in 6 for me. And Foldy, what are your final prediction of the NBA playoffs? What are we talking? So Mavericks versus the Clippers. So our Los Angeles Clippers versus Dallas Mavericks.
I don't like that there's 2 LA teams, so I'm going the Clippers. I mean, the Mavericks.
It's a butcher.
I butchered it, but there's no need to have 2 LA teams for me. So
next year they're moving.
I don't like 2 when I go to America, and it's like you try to get tickets and stuff, and it's like, oh, you go, you can have LA game for this match, and then you're just like, oh, it's the Clippers.
It's the Clippers, yeah, for sure. But they're moving into a new. The Clippers are moving into a new stadium next year.
Really?
Yeah. So at the start of the year they were looking real good, but I think they've fallen off a bit. But interesting to see how they go. So there we go. That's locked in. Timestamp that 18th of the 4th, 2024. At 4:16 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we've put our predictions in. We'll get our East and West 1 to 8, 1 versus 8 over the next few days once that rolls in and we know who that is. But I think we move into let's get a little funny little Kawhi Leonard accepting his jersey for the USA Olympic team.
Yeah, I like
just a little touch. We'll just touch on that. So that's just there. It might be funny to some, but so this guy, it's Kawhi Leonard. He's known to be like very like nonchalant, doesn't talk much. He's a very very quiet dude. But yeah, so he reacts to getting his jersey number, which is number 8, which he doesn't like.
The song in the background. Hard to say. Do we need to be handy to have you need the talking?
Oh, you'd have to have the talking.
Right.
It's not the best for you.
We'll get through.
Hey, we gotta give you something, brother. Hey. Yeah, he said, hey. Yeah.
Look at it.
So we want to make sure we gave it to you, man. Yeah. Congratulations. For sure. Yes, sir. He said 8.
He's not happy. He hates number. It's not his number.
Didn't want the 8.
Didn't want the 8. So that's just Kawhi. So if you know Kawhi, yeah, he's just that's just sort of him.
Down the line kind of guy.
Just a straight down the line. Doesn't do much. And yeah. So I reckon before we wrap up and we get into the must wins, the AFL tips and the crowd predictions, I think we go through a little bit of Nuggets fitness tip of the week. So last week, I think it was a bit of weight loss talk or whatever it was. But this week, we're going to break down just a bit of like if you're in the gym and obviously when you look like it depends what you want to do in the gym is like dependent on what you're going to train. That's what we spoke about last week. But this is strictly like lifting weights to either do we want to build that like strength. Sorry, do we want to build size? So we want to grow muscle? Do we want to build our strength? So do we want to lift heavier? Or do we want to increase our power? Obviously, all these have a little bit of overlaying. So if you imagine, what are those things where you have those circles, and they like overlay, but you put it in, remember that little...
Yeah, it's like not a pie chart, but it's a whatever chart.
Yeah, those charts. So like, you imagine there's 3 circles. So it's like hypertrophy, strength, power, right? A little bit is going to be, used. If you just lift weights in the gym, you don't really have a structure. You're going to touch on them all, but it's not actually specific to what you want. So first off, if you're looking to build a bit of size, build muscle, put on that sort of stuff, what we want to do is hit the higher rep ranges, okay?
Okay.
So I'd say, and like a lot of people would say, around, you want to get over 6 reps. So I'd start my hypertrophy training around that 6 rep, maybe I'd say 7, and then 7 and up from there, okay? So let's say you're doing like a dumbbell bench press. You want to be getting at least 7 reps. But that doesn't mean, and this is where it kind of gets a little bit tricky. We don't just want to say, which is kind of like the old school training and that sort of stuff, but don't come for me, but I'm just spitballing. If everyone used to do like, let's do 3 by 8. But what they'll do is they'll pick up some weight, they'll 3 by 8, and on the 8th rep, they're still just cruising. But because they're like 3 by 8, they just throw it down. And that's kind of like, you're not really getting to that muscle fatigue that you need to kind of break down the muscles. So what you want to do is, yes, we want to get to 7, 8 and beyond, but we want to reach in, like, if let's say I pick up 20 kilo dumbbells, right? If my max, like if I tried my hardest and the most I could do was 12 reps, if I'm doing that, maybe I don't want to go to my max every time. Some say that you should, but I don't think you should because you get a bit sore. But you want to be within, I'd say, a minimum of 3 to 2 reps of that max.
Okay.
All right, because they call that an RPE, which is or an RIR, reps in reserve. So when we're working, you get to like 8, you're like, all right, I've got 4 left. You get to 9, you're like, I could probably get maybe 3 more. And then you're like, I could get 10. I might be able to do 2 more. That might do me. Okay, so you want to get in that. You want to be working relatively hard towards that. You don't just want to be cruising it out, just like that. So hypertrophy, so that 7 to, it can get up to 25, 30. That's what I know Louis Simmons used to do, like banded tricep pull downs. They used to do 30, 40, 50 reps, that sort of stuff to get the blood into the triceps, that sort of thing. So, but as long as we're getting towards our failure or going to failure, for me, I also like to think of it as like, if I'm doing dumbbell bench press, I'm going to do 4 sets of 8, which is a bit of volume, or 4 sets of 12. I don't think going to failure on the first rep of those, because by the end of it, you're going to be absolutely gassed and you might not get, you might be, fatigued by 6. So I'd always leave a couple in the tank, and then maybe the last one, go all out and hit the failure at the end. But when you move it to like triceps or biceps or that sort of stuff, because it's such a small muscle group and the energy it takes to get, like, obviously it's still hard, but doing a tricep pull down compared to like a heavy bench press, I think you can take that to failure almost every time. Does that make sense? So that's hypertrophy. So that's if you want to build muscle, build size, get bigger, look like a cloud, all that sort of stuff. Then we move into
Cloud.
that's Foldy. That's your terminology. You're a cloud man.
That's right.
So then we move into strength and power, which is much like similar, but so like if we like strength and power are sort of similar, but they have a few little differences and how we train to use them. So for strength, I like to sit between, people would say probably the 1 to 5 rep range. I probably like to sit in the 1 to 3. If you're a new lifter, I'd err on the side of caution and go 4 to 5 reps. If you've been in the gym for a while, I'd go in between that 1 to 3 reps. A 1 rep max is something that I'm a big. I used to love this is like really nerdy stuff, but you go into West Side Barbell because they have the bands, they had the I can't. It's off, I've lost the word, but the training was super heavy. So they have a heavy day and then they'd have a speed day. So for the heavy, which is strength, if you sit in that 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 rep range, that's going to recruit more motor units in the muscle. And it's going to, if your goal is to get stronger, let's say you want to go from a 120 kilo bench to a 140 kilo bench, you need to be doing those heavy sets. So, 1, 2, you might do 3 sets of 3 or 4 sets of 2 or 5 sets of 2, but at super heavy weight. Whereas on that second one, you're really grinding it out and you're only just getting it. So you literally could not do one more rep, and it's only 2 reps in. So it's super heavy. You can only barely move it. But you're recruiting those motor units that you wouldn't recruit if you were just doing hypertrophy. So if you're looking to get stronger, you need to chuck in those heavy reps. But in saying that, you'd also, and that's kind of where the nuances of training and that sort of thing. So obviously you do that, but then you also want it to get stronger. You probably want to build a bit more size as well. So then you'd have to blend that in with your hypertrophy training as well. So you might start with a heavy bench press and a heavy back workout, like a row, a machine row, or whatever it is. And then you might sprinkle in some accessories where you're doing flies, but with a hypertrophy kind of mindset, tricep pull downs with a hypertrophy mindset. So that's when we're blending it in. But definitely, if you're looking for strength, definitely get those reps up. Get the weight down, reps low. Weight high, reps low. Sorry. And the last one, power, or explosiveness, or if you want to jump higher, run faster, all that sort of thing. So once again, all these translate. And if you're doing your strength training, that's going to translate a little bit to our running and jumping and that sort of stuff. But what we want to do, we want to keep the same rep ranges as our strength. So I would say 3 to 4 max when we're doing this. Some would say 5, but I feel like if you're doing it properly on the fifth one, you might be getting a bit fatigued and it's kind of not getting, because you want to produce. What we want to do with power is produce the most force we can possible for each rep, and then 3 reps, 4 reps. So as most force as you can, jump as high as you can, and then stop and rest. So you don't want to be getting too fatigued when we do this. So it's all about just producing the most force you can. So these are things like 2-foot jumps, 1-foot jumps, throwing if you've got a dead ball, pushing it and throwing it as far as you can. Let's say lying on your back, you've got a partner, they drop the ball, you catch and you push it as far as you can. Or, if you're, probably not the most safe thing, but if you've got a barbell, you could bring it down the barbell and throw the barbell up as high as you can and catch it. Throw it up as high as you can and catch it. So anything that's as much energy, as much force, as much power you can produce, keep it in the low rep ranges, and then go all out for those 3-4 reps. It's similar to think about if we're doing and this can be transitioned to sled runs. So if you're doing a sled run, it's all out as fast as you can for 7, 8, 9 seconds, then you back it off. Or maybe 10 to 12, whatever you can hold that for, or hill sprints or just sprinting, jumping. So if you want to do that, so if you want to increase your power, increase your kind of your explosiveness, we want to be doing jumping, we want to be doing lateral movements, and then what we're going to do is kind of I think the complete training is blending all them together in one program, so we're getting the best of all worlds. So that's just my fitness tip of the week. What do you think, Fold?
I like that.
What are your thoughts?
We should have had the actual, the little circles in there, but I like that.
That's next time. So that's just and let us know if you're enjoying any comments. We got any comments today or
not yet?
No, anyone watching?
Let's have a look here.
I'll head over I'll see what's going on. We've got
no comments yet.
Not one person watching, which is unfortunate.
We've put it out to the people, but that's right. People are still just getting used to the Thursday one. I think a lot of people know that Thursday goes on. So we're going to move to finish off today. So we're going for 29 minutes already. So we'll finish her up with the tips, the AFL tips of the AFL tips, must wins, and crowd predictions.
So we'll get it. You went. I think you clicked on the wrong one. So we'll go through. There's a game down one. Yep. All right. So tonight's game which is a huge game for both teams. Foldy. Western Bulldogs versus St Kilda. What round are we up to? 6. God, they come on quick.
It's going very quick.
Round 6. St Kilda versus Western Bulldogs. Who are you thinking?
I'm trying to work out. I've done my tips already. I'm trying to think who I put down here. I think I went St Kilda. I think
you've gone St Kilda. I've got bullies to make the granny, so I'm just gonna have to. I'm riding with them, ride or die with the ride or unalive with the Western Bulldogs. So I'm going bullies. You're gone St Kilda.
St Kilda.
Nice. And Adelaide versus Essendon.
Yeah,
Don's on fire.
I'm going Essendon. Yeah, I think they really pulled it together last week. It was good to see.
Dons are on fire. They could be back. They win that. We're pushing that top 8.
Well, yeah, I'm riding the Dons in. I want to see it.
Huge game for Collingwood. Looks like it's at the MCG.
At the G.
So maybe, do you want to do that as our crowd prediction? Collingwood versus Port Adelaide.
Where's that game? It's at Adelaide. All the Dons on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Crowd prediction for that one?
I think so. Collingwood versus Port Adelaide. MCG. It can be.
I'm going Port Adelaide.
You're going Port?
I don't want Collingwood to go anywhere near it.
I'm going to jump on that bandwagon too because I'm not a Collingwood fan. Shout out to our Nan though, who goes for Collingwood.
That's it. I don't know. What do you think for a crowd?
Port are good. They travel. Collingwood obviously get a good. Depending on the day, I reckon that you get it. Interstate club's always a bit different, but Collingwood. Check the weather. I'm thinking around like.
Saturday, 17 degrees. Doesn't look great, but it's not bad. I guess
it's not raining.
Weather's starting to get shocking.
Yeah. I'm 145. I'm going to go 62,000.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go lower. I think 57 for me.
Okay. So I'm going to make sure which side you're on, which side I think I'm on there. So I've gone 62,323.
And I'll 57 on the dot.
57. Don't want to sprinkle in a couple of numbers?
No, I like on the dot.
He's an on the dot kind of a guy. All right. Carlton versus GWS, an absolute belter game. Carlton had an absolute shocking loss last week against Adelaide.
Good.
You see that?
Good. Yeah, I was at the Bucks. Everyone was going nuts. It was great to see. I'm off Carlton. So, yeah, GW for me for sure.
Yeah, I'm on the GWS bandwagon as well. Sometimes I just this is why I'm so bad at tipping. I just go for teams I don't like and I'll just back against them.
Yeah, I think most people do that, to be honest.
All right. Geelong versus Brisbane. I don't think Geelong have lost yet. They're on fire. Brizzy need a win. Where's this at the Gabba?
At the Gabba, so that's why it's their favourites, eh?
$1.55.
Gee,
that's crazy. The 10th place teams at $1.55. I'm going to back Brizzy in.
I'm going Brizzy.
Oh, you going Brizzy as well?
I like the home ground.
No worries. West Coast versus Fremantle.
I'm going Fremantle. West Coast are no good.
They absolutely smoked. West Coast smoked Richmond the other day, but Freo, they're looking good. $1.70, $1.14 for Freo. So you can't. We'll both hit Fremantle there. Moving on. Sydney versus the Gold Coast. Sydney versus Gold Coast.
Gold Coast Suns. It's going to be Swannies for me. SCG. Oh, it's just a shoe-in.
That is a shoe-in. Yeah, I'm going to go Swans because I like Swans. And I think this next one can be our must-win game of the game of the round. 17 versus 18. The two worst teams we'll make that our must-win predictions.
Yeah, look at that. Well, I'm going to go Hawks and then...
He's seen the $1.43. He's taking Hawthorn.
I've got to take Hawthorn. They're both rubbish, so...
I'm going with... Yeah, I'm happy to take...
yeah, it's anyone's game.
I'm happy to take North, but North have been absolutely trash. Because didn't Hawthorn at least pushed Collingwood last game, whenever that was. But I think... I don't think North have been in the game this year. No, I'm gonna go and get into there. I want to see how they're looking and what they've been doing.
Good.
I'm gonna get on the North. So a bit of a lineup. 2 days until the match. Yeah. So the Kangas are $2.86. Hawks are $1.43. So Folty's taking the easy win out there. previous matchups, if you go by that, Hawthorn have won the last 3 at least. They've won the last 3. So, and the last 5 matches. So this is North Melbourne's last 5 matches, just so you know. They lost to Geelong, 75 points. They lost to Brisbane, 70 points. They lost to Carlton, 56 points. They lost to Freo, 36 points. Oh, so 26 points there. And then they lost to the Giants by about 40 points. So not good. So Hawthorn, they got smacked by Gold Coast on the weekend, but they gave Collingwood a bit of a run. But doesn't look good. If you follow any of those teams, I'd be waiting for next year to,
for sure,
start watching. But that'll do us. Thanks to the one viewer, which is myself, I think. Thanks for watching. And
that's all right.
We'll see you next time.
We'll put it up on the socials and,
That was it. That was the scoreboard with Nugget. Let us know your thoughts and we'll hit the outro to finish off and we'll see you next time. And actually, tomorrow around 4 p.m, we've got the Fancy Frothy Friday. So we'll get a beer in this time. We haven't reviewed a beer for a while.
We haven't done Fancy Frothy Friday for a while.
So we'll get a beer, we'll review that and see you then. Yeah, don't miss it.
All right, let's go. Let's blang it. Let's do the outro.
Yeah.
No.
He's butchered
There
it.
it is.